Good day everyone. Before we start, let me first introduce myself. I am Viado Manager Aisan, and my report is all about functions of private detective. So what are the functions of private detective? First, we have background investigation. Background investigation, it is an inquiry which aims to verify the applicant's information written in the applicant's form. It is also one of the phases of security education program. So, sa background investigation po, tinitignan po dito yung mga past records, past employments, and even past experience ng isang aplikante. The second function of private detective is locating a missing person. So, locating a missing person, it is an act taken by the private detective to determine the exact location of a subject or a person involved in the case. The third function of private detective is conduct surveillance work. So, when we say surveillance work, refers to the act of watching, monitoring a person, place, or activity to gather information. Under the surveillance work, it involves what we call tailing or shadowing. Next, such other detective work as may become the subject matter of contract between the agency and its clients, except not contrary to law, public order, public policy, moral, and good custom. So, under this phase, those strategy and techniques to be done in order to gather evidence to prove the guilt of the subject. But, always remember, it must be in accordance to your duty as a private detective and not contrary to the law, because we have what we call doctrine of the fruit of the poisonous tree, says that any evidence obtained illegally will be inadmissible in the court. So, sinasabi dito na gaano man kalakas o katibay ang ebidensyang hawak mo, pero kapag ang pamamaraan para makuha mo ang ebidensyang yun ay mali, hindi iyon tatanggapin ng korte. So, those are the functions of private detective. That's all. Thank you.
Good day. I'm Benedict John Texon, and I'm reporting the power of city of municipal mayor in case of emergency. When we say power of city, municipal mayor in case of emergency, do you have any idea? At alam ko meron na sa inyo ang may idea about dito. Kumbaga, nagkakaroon tayo ng calamities like bagyo at iba pa. When we say power of city, municipal mayor in case of emergency, in times of disaster or calamity, yun nga yung kagaya ng mga bagyo, earthquake, or sometimes mga krimen, or etc. When the service of any security agency and entity and his personnel are needed. Kumbaga, kung kinakailangan ng mamamayan ng isang ng municipal mayor na magtala ng isang local law, for example, ganun ho. The city of municipal mayor may muster or incorporate the members of the agency or agency nearest the area of such disaster or calamity. Kaangkop nito, ang kasama ng ating mayor ay mga ating barangay officials. For example, mga CVO. Ito yung mga isa sa mga nagbibigay ng tulong or nagpapatnubay sa ating mayor upang solusyonan ang mga nagiging problema sa bawat nasasakupan nito. To help the maintenance of peace and order, prevention of crime, or apprehension of violator, of laws or ordinance in the protection of lives and properties. For example, nitong nakaraan lang, nagkakaroon ng maraming krimen, kagaya ng mga pagnanakaw, pag-hold up, at pagpatay. Ang isang mayor ay pwede magtala ng mandatory checkpoint. Kumbaga, iuutos ito sa chief police ng ating local police agencies na upang every time na pwede sila magtala ng checkpoint, or even the barangay officials can be part of this na maging participate sila ng ginagawang batas or local laws ng ating municipal mayor. They shall receive direct orders from the chief of the police. Yun nga, kagaya ng sabi ko, ang mayor pwede nilang sa chief of police upang patnubayan at ma-prevent ang krimen. Municipality for the duration of emergency, disaster or calamity. For example, nagkaroon tayo ng bagyong Christine, tama. Ang ating mayor ay nagtala ng batas, for example, pagpatupad ng walang pasok sa all levels. For example, sa Pusurubio, ang aming mayor ay nagtala ng walang pasok in all levels to be part na maging safety ang lahat ng estudyante na nasa sakupan nito upang ma-prevent any accident or any incidents na mangyayari sa kanyang nasa sakupan. So, any question about the city, power of city. Kumbaga, ito na yung nandito na sa nakapalob dito kung paano natin dito na papasok kung ang ating mayor ay mape-prevent ang crime and mami-maintain ang peace and order upang ma-prevent ang ating high volume sa crime. So that's all, and I thank you.
Supervision of the PNP. In case of emergency or in times of disaster or calamities, the Chief PNP may deputize any security guard to assist the PNP in the performance of police duties for the duration of such emergency, disaster, or calamity. Licensed guards who are actually assigned to clients with DDO shall be deputized by the Chief PNP and clothed with authority to enforce laws, rules, and regulations within his area of responsibility. So, the statement refers to the authority granted to the Chief of the PNP or the Philippine National Police to deputize private security guards during emergencies, disasters, or calamities. So, here's an example and explanation. So, in the supervision of the PNP, the Chief PNP has overall control and authority over the PNP and can direct their actions, including special situations like emergencies. So, in case of emergency, disaster, or calamity, or in times of natural or man-made crisis like typhoon, earthquake, or civil unrest, the usual law enforcement personnel may not be sufficient to handle the situation. So, deputizing security guards or the Chief PNP can authorize private security guards to temporarily perform police functions. So, these security guards would be given the legal authority to assist in maintaining order, enforcing laws, and helping with disaster management even though they are not regular police officers. So, this deputation is only for the duration of the emergency, disaster, or calamity. So, it's a temporary measure to bolster the law enforcement response in such critical times. So, in essence, this provision allows the PNP to expand its capacity to respond to crisis by temporarily utilizing the manpower and resources of private security guards, thus ensuring a more efficient response during emergencies. So, another one is the interrelationship. The interrelationship between private security personnel and membership of the PNP. So, private security, number one, private security personnel are always subordinate to members of the PNP on matters pertaining to law enforcement and crime prevention. They cannot enforce any provision to the law except in executing citizens' arrests or in conducting initial investigation of the commission of the crime. In such case, an arrested person shall be turned over immediately to the nearest PNP unit or station. So, the interrelationship between private security personnel and the Philippine National Police or the PNP is primarily governed by the principle that private security officers are subordinate to PNP members when it comes to law enforcement and crime prevention. So, private security personnel, while they play an important role in ensuring safety within specific areas or establishments, do not have the authority to enforce the law in the same capacity as PNP officers. So, their duties are limited to preventing crime, maintaining order, and safeguarding private property. So, their cooperation with the PNP enhances the overall safety of communities by ensuring that any action taken in the course of crime prevention is within the bounds of the law and that suspects are properly handled according to legal
grounds and cancellation for security guard license. So, number one, we have assisting or protecting criminals during on or off duty. So, for example, as a security guard, you are giving a special treatment to the criminals and hindi po pwede yun. Number two, providing confidential information to an authorized person. So, kung babalikan po natin ang previous lesson natin under chapter 5, entitled Document and Information Security, we have what we call compartmentation, or it is a grant of access to classified matter and it is only required in the performance of duty and not to an authorized person. So, as a security guard, nasa pangangalaga po natin ang information, especially kapag related siya sa status o personal information ng isang tao. So, confidential po yan. Hindi po natin pwedeng ipagkalat o sabihin sa iba. Number 3, posted security guard found drunk or drinking intoxicating liquor. So, yung security guard daw po ay natagpuang lasing o nag-iinom. So, remember, one of the disqualifications of being a security guard is being habitual drunkard or manginginom. Of course, as a security guard, paano mo nga ba magagampanan yung trabaho mo kung lasing ka? Paano mo masisecure yung safety ng tao and even establishment kung you are under the influence of intoxicating liquor? And lastly, number 4, other similar acts like committing an offense involving moral turpitude. So, those are the acts and grounds for the cancellation of the security guard license.